Hey guys, John here. Welcome back to another video. So I've had the Sequoia for about a week now. Want to take you guys on a drive, talk to you guys about some of my first impressions, a week of having this vehicle, comparing it a little bit to the Tundra. Still need a little bit more time with it to truly compare, but just overall first impressions. And I'll tell you the very first thing right now, getting into these TRD seats here. They're awesome. Love the camo, love it. But listen, I don't know if you can hear it. Listen. So, start off with some negative, because some people say I'm a Toyota fanboy and I don't critique it enough. I critique everything. You guys just don't watch the videos, it seems like, all the way. But, very comfortable seat. For some reason, it's like the glue or something is not connecting to the camo in these seats. Untamed Motors actually had this same issue. When he pressed on it, you could hear like the crackling with it. Other than that, seats are very comfortable. I feel like my Tundras is a little bit more comfortable than these seats for some reason. I don't know why. When you sit in them for like a little bit longer, it does not make like a whole lot of noise. It's just initially like when you sit in it, it just gives you kind of like that crunch. It's super weird. I don't know what it is. Maybe they could take a look at it when I take it to the dealership for the first time. But startup. Let's talk about starting up this thing. That's why I gave you guys the little bit of a sound clip in the back. I love the way this thing sounds. Now, it does have some artificial pumped in noise. Like, it does have a little bit of pumped in noise, but nowhere near as much as the Tundra TRD Pro. It is very, very tame in this, and I actually really like it. So, nowhere near as much noise as the Tundra TRD Pro, which is fine. Now, we have 419 miles on this Sequoia already in the week that we've had it, and to be completely honest with you guys, the miles that I've put on it, maybe 20. My wife has been driving the absolute crap out of this thing. She drove it when we went and picked up the Tundra. She drove it all doing her real estate stuff. She drives the crap out of this thing. I feel so bad because the 4Runner's just been sitting outside in the garage. It's just been sitting. I've driven the 4Runner more in the week that we've had this than I've actually driven the new Sequoia. I have ridden passenger in this quite a bit, so I do have my feelings and thoughts about passenger seating, which I guess is good, and it allows me to sit, like I sat in the back for a little bit, driving around the city and stuff. I was able to kind of feel out the back seat, listen for wind noise, listen for little crackles here and there, so I have been in it, just not driving it a lot of miles. So leaving the neighborhood, going over some speed bumps, Fox suspension soaks everything up. This Sequoia is a very plush ride. I've driven some Platinums with the air suspension in the back and other various press vehicle Toyotas, Sequoias. The only one that like handled better was the TRD Sport because it was a bit lower to the ground, but this one just has some insanely soft suspension and it's very plush. The only thing that is bad about this TRD Pro setup, I feel like, is the Falcon Wild Peaks, man. And like, it's cool that Toyota gave the Sequoia and all the TRD Pros a decent tire. Like the 4Runner has a Nitto Terra grapplers. The Tacoma, I think, has some Goodyears. The Tundra and the Sequoia both have these new Falcon Wild Peaks, which is new for this generation of vehicle. They are not the best. Like, I haven't truly off-roaded it to, I guess, like, see how good they are off-road, but the road noise themselves, like just driving this on the road, not the best. It is louder, honestly, than my Nitto Ridge grapplers that I have on my Tundra, and those have close to 15,000 miles on them. These have 420 miles on them. Nice. And they are very loud. Like, the very loud, like, road noise on them. A little bit rough too, and they're not even like a 10-ply tire. So turning out of a neighborhood, give a little bit of beans. That's 60, man. This car is so fast. Truck, SUV, whatever you want to call it, is so fast. So we're going 55 miles an hour. Take a listen. Wind noise in the Sequoia, granted it's brand new. Wind noise in the Sequoia compared to my Tundra, almost non-existent. I mean, holy crap. It's so silent in here. Like, listen. So I do hear a little bit like on the ends of the moose antlers of these big old freaking tow mirrors, but when I was sitting in the back, like the back window of my Tundra, it whistles a lot. The front windows on my Tundra, they shudder. Like, I don't know what the heck's going on with that truck, and it does frustrate me. But this Sequoia, like when I got in it and my wife and I drove it home for the first time, I've been sitting passenger in the back seat, the front seat, not the back ones yet, but it's just, is so solid. Now, I touched on it in another video a little bit. I'm not sure if Toyota had like a year to really work it out on this Sequoia compared to the Tundra. Individuals did comment in that video saying they do go down the exact same assembly line, so that's good to know. So I'm not sure if you buy like a 2023 Tundra, or like as it starts to keep moving forward, if the build quality is hopefully getting better. Hopefully all these complaints that we've talked about, like with the Tundra, with stupid things rattling, like the doors rattling, wind noise, all this stuff, I know Toyota's taken that into consideration and hopefully implementing it to make these a better vehicle, to make it worth $80,000, right? So I mean, they're doing their part, it seems like, because when I've gotten in this with my wife, and even with her driving it, she drove the 4Runner a lot, and I drove in the 4Runner a lot. We think that this is not as solid as the 4Runner, but it's damn near close. Like nothing in this like rattles, except for like the seat noise, like except for a little bit of seat noise. When I sat in the center seat, I had a buddy up front, my wife was driving, sat in the center seat. Holy crap, it was so comfortable. Like I reclined the seat back. There was a little bit of noise coming from the headliner, and obviously this car has to break in and stuff. It just rolled off the assembly line, straight onto a truck, straight to the dealership, and then us driving it. So there may be some glue that needs to settle, it needs to heat up, expand, whatever the heck it needs to do. But I just like pressed up on the headliner and it crackled a little bit, and I haven't heard it since. So I don't know if it just like came down a little bit from the glue and I put it back in place, but really that's it. The side mirror over there, the passenger's mirror, you're not like staring at your mirrors, right, when you're driving, but looking at that passenger mirror, sometimes if you like look at it for more than 3-4 seconds, it does shake a little bit. I guess we're talking about some of the cons. So the passenger's tow mirror does shake a little bit on the top portion of it. There is a little bit of like a clicking sound coming from somewhere back up in here. Not sure if it's the seatbelt mechanism or if it's inside the door, but I mean, aside from those tiny little things, at least right now, right? Truck still has to break itself in more, but aside from those tiny little things, this Sequoia is freaking solid. It is so solid, and I'm so happy because it is not a cheap vehicle. So my Tundra was like $58,000 MSRP, something like that. It's an SR5. This Sequoia is built off the limited platform for the TRD Pro. That's how the Tundra is built too. It's built off a limited platform. So maybe it has a little bit more sound deadening here and there, better, higher quality materials maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I would love to ask Toyota these questions when I go to some auto shows this year and just really pick their brains as to why this vehicle is so much different than my Tundra in terms of quality. Going in and out of hybrid mode, right? Because this is a hybrid, all Sequoias are hybrid. Going in and out of hybrid mode with this thing, very seamless. There's no transmission clunking or anything like that. The first 100 miles with this vehicle, and it's the same with my Tundra too, like when I unplugged my battery for a while, it wants to reset itself. So the first about 100 miles with this Sequoia, it was very jittery kind of a little bit, like first to second gear, truck trying to figure itself out. You're braking with the regen kind of with the hybrid system. It had no idea really what it wanted to do, but now that we have almost 423 miles now on this Sequoia, the truck has learned, hey, we drive it good, we don't bonsai it all the time, we're not shifting like crazy through the gears or anything like that. So it is a very refined system. Like I'm in hybrid mode, put the gas down, wakes the motor back up, super seamless, back into actual gas mode, we'll let off the gas. Tach goes away. I don't know if you guys can see that on that camera. Tach goes away. We're in hybrid mode now, just cruising at 20 miles an hour. So, dudes, I mean, guys, this whole video is just about like first impressions. I'll have more talking about top 5 things I like, top 5 things I dislike about it, what really pisses me off about it, some growing pains, cargo space, all this other stuff with it. But first impressions, driving with it, this is what we've wanted to drive every time we go somewhere. I don't know if it's just because it's new, we want to feel it out, see how it is, but it's not like a hindrance to drive at all. There's nothing crazy rattling that annoys me. The wind noise is dang near non-existent, aside from like what I hear with the tow mirrors, and obviously getting up to like 75 miles an hour, you hear just a little bit of going over the vehicle, but it's a big brick going through the air, but it is still significantly quieter than my Tundra, even when my Tundra was stock without the bigger tires. And I don't know if that has to do with like how the front end of this Sequoia is built versus how the Tundra's front end is built. Maybe the Sequoia is more airflow. It doesn't have a bed in the back for when to like go back over. It's just a big vehicle just going through the air all by itself. Maybe that has something to do with it, but like, it is so solid. I mean, just driving on these roads, man, and they're decent roads. They're not like horrible roads, but just going over potholes with the Sequoia too, so solid. And like, that is what I'm so freaking happy about, is just how solid this vehicle is. So comfort of driving this feels just like the Tundra, at least seat wise. Like I said, my Tundra seats for some reason seem to have a little bit more cushion than these TRD Pro seats, but driving it, like every time I get in this vehicle, it's as if I'm just in the Tundra. So I know where all the HVAC stuff is. I know where the shift knob is, all the off-road stuff if I need it, all the stuff over here. The Sequoia does have a gas tank little popper thing. But other than that, like the heated steering wheel, all the steering wheel controls, it's very cool going from the Tundra to the Sequoia because it is very seamless for what it is. The dual climate control, everything works. I know where all of that stuff is, all the door controls. It's very cool going from the Tundra to this because it's almost the exact same. And then the more and more I drive both like at the same, not at the same time, but like jump from one into the other, I notice things that I like more about the Tundra than I do the Sequoia, or aspects of the Sequoia that I like more than the Tundra. The one thing that I do notice that I do like more about the Tundra is the whole center console space. For some reason, I'll mention this in other videos, but for some reason, the Sequoia right here has your cup holders kind of vertical versus horizontal, and then you lose all the storage space up here on the Sequoia. This is like dead space over here. Don't know why the heck that Toyota did that. You lose so much space, and then even with the dash up here, so the dash right up there, it has no shelf, and I like that about my SR5 Tundra. SR5 and SR Tundras, they have that shelf right there. It's awesome. For some reason, limited and up, and I guess even in the Sequoia, I can't remember if the SR5 Sequoia has a shelf right there, but the shelf is gone. Like, why would you make a shelf be gone? Like, you need more storage. Like, storage for us Americans with all the stuff that we have is just, it's nice. I don't know why that's gone, even in an SUV. So, and then also this little thingy right here on the console. I mean, it's cool. You can put cash there, your wallet, your pew-pews, whatever you need to put right there, but the console's sturdy. That's nice. Guys, that's it. I just wanted to recap real quick on the Sequoia itself. The first week that I've had it, some pros, some cons, a little bit trickled in here and there. Save those for other videos. But being a driver of this for maybe like 50 miles or so, it's been great. Being a passenger, it's been even better because this thing is just so comfortable, almost like you're getting chauffeured around, which is really cool. So guys, appreciate you watching, and I will catch you in the next video. All right, see you later.